Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Thursday. This is Carol White, and I want to welcome you to this week's episode of When Life Needs a Detox. This is Thursday, October 1st, 2020. It's almost over, y'all. This year is almost over. I apologize for the delay this morning. I had a couple of little tweaks that went wrong, but we're here. It is a rather frigid 48 degrees outside here in Chicago, but it's still a great day to be alive. We're going to get started today because I am running rather late. Today's episode, or rather this week's episode of When Life Needs a Detox, is entitled Racism in History. It's amazing what you see when you pay attention. I have to offer a disclaimer. Now, I realize that these topics I'm going to speak on today are grossly redundant, but they have been laying heavily upon my spirit. So I must release my frustration or I'm going to bust. This week has had two appalling events for me. One was the presidential debate that was held September 29th, 2020. And the second one was the airing of two commercials targeting Blacks or African Americans, however you choose to say it, to participate in the COVID-19 vaccine testings on the BET channel, which, if you're not familiar, is Black Entertainment Television. Both topics were equally offensive to me, so I tossed a coin to see which topic I'd start off with first. The debate won. Now, my people, when I think of a presidential debate, I have two expectations. One, that the participants show respect and have a heightened sense of decorum because they're presidential. And two, that they are able to articulate their points of view using facts, figures, and persuasive arguments aimed at swaying voters to vote for them. I expect them to actually debate. What I got Tuesday was not that at all. In truth, the presidential debate was a veritable shit show. Now, I'm sorry if I've offended anyone with my language, but that is the only way that I can honestly describe what I saw. The orange tragedy, I refuse to refer to him as, y'all know what I refuse to refer to him as, currently running the country, was rude, vulgar, and disrespectful to everyone involved in the debate. He did not rely on facts. He didn't rely on figures or persuasive arguments. He relied on trash talking, bullying, and defaming the dead. Yes, he attacked Joe Biden's deceased son. Really? Further, he went out of his way to incite white supremacists with the slogan, "Stand back and stand by." When challenged by the moderator, Chris Wallace, and presidential candidate nominee Joe Biden to formally denounce white supremacy. This slogan has now been incorporated into the logo of the white supremacist group, the Proud Boys. Now, throughout the entire debate, the orange tragedy continually interrupted presidential candidate Biden whenever he tried to make a point. Now, we've all either been in heated arguments or witnessed heated arguments where one of the participants has no logical or truthful ground to stand on. So what do? They get loud. They won't let you finish a complete sentence, and they do everything in their power to get you to sink to their level. Should they accomplish that, they win, even if they lose. That is seemingly the campaign strategy of the orange tragedy. Let's hope this base tactic is not effective on the conscious public. Now the second topic is the COVID-19 vaccine experiment commercials that aired on the BET channel. And again, that is Black Entertainment Television. These commercials aired, the first time I saw it was September 27th, 2020 at 5:59 p.m. And I saw another version of it again on September 28th, 2020 at 11:59 a.m. The issues I'm having with these commercials are they started out so unassuming and so calming and so we're here to help you that I actually thought it was one of the Walgreens commercials to get you to take the flu shot. Because I'll tell you, I saw it, you get nothing but Black Americans in the commercials, and they're smiling and they're pointing to their right shoulder. The same way they did in the Walgreens commercial to get you to take the flu shot. But at the end of this commercial, they're telling you, participate in the COVID-19 vaccine trials. Now, the second issue I had with these commercials was that they ended with the statement that it was your duty to participate. And my third issue, there were no similar commercials on mainstream or white television, nor were there any commercials like this on Hispanic television stations. And I know this because I went out of my way to check before I jumped up and made the statement. Enough already. All right, enough. Stop making the decision that the Black community is the default expendable resource for this kind of garbage. The American medical profession needs to stop this. It used slaves in experimentation during the 1800s. It used and misled 600 men during the Tuskegee syphilis experiments. It stole, harvested, and reproduced cells from Henrietta Lacks without her consent or her family's consent for medical and commercial purposes. They made a grip off that woman. It even went so far as to withhold information that the MMR vaccine, measles, mumps, and rubella, caused regressive autism in Black children 3 times more than any other race. Now you want the Black community to participate in the COVID-19 vaccine experiment? Really? Now, a couple of weeks ago, I had occasion to talk with my primary care physician and her nurse. I found out through this conversation that the first COVID-19 drug was not tested on humans until they had done 10 years of clinical research that had been recorded. This vaccine This current vaccine has only been in existence for a couple of months with no clinical research on which to base the necessity for human testing. My bad. I'm sorry. You don't see the Black community as human, do you? I have a better idea, though. Instead of targeting Blacks for this experiment, get all of the politicians who said the elderly should die for their sakes to participate. Target the people who aren't wearing their masks because they feel their rights are being infringed upon. Better yet, target the people who still believe this virus is a hoax, or the people that are going to make a profit from the sale and distribution of that drug. I guess the old saying that old habits die hard is absolutely true. Oh, and a couple more things now. Who's to say we'll even be given the drug? And by we, I mean the Black community will be given this drug with the same zeal as the whites. Now, don't forget, with the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, Blacks were not given the treatment for syphilis, shots of penicillin, when it was readily available and proven to cure syphilis. The researchers made the decision to allow the participants in the experiment to have their bodies ravaged by this disease so that they could study the cadavers. Who's to say they won't do the same thing in this instance? Now, I've made my personal decision not to participate in the experiment. I have also made the personal decision that at this particular time, I will not be taking any vaccine. Now, for those who have made the choice to participate in the experiment and choose to take the vaccine, God bless you. But please make it a point to ask all the questions you possibly can. That teaser fee that they say they're going to pay you, because as I've said previously, I've received the letter and they gave that teaser fee of up to $700, won't even begin to cover your potential funeral costs. Now, I know there are a lot of people that are going to have a couple of issues with today's broadcast, and it's okay. But I'd like to leave you with one final point, one final example. My grandfather died of kidney disease in 1972, my maternal grandfather. I was speaking to one of my aunts the other day, and it turns out that in 1972, dialysis was available for the treatment of kidney disease. But because it was a new treatment and rather expensive, they had to pick and choose who would receive dialysis. The medical community made the decision that at this particular time, or at that particular time, only whites would receive dialysis. Blacks with kidney disease were allowed to die. Please do not think the medical community is overly concerned with the needs and concerns of African Americans. They're not. And it is amazing what you will discover when you pay attention. Well, that concludes this week's episode of When Life Needs a Detox. My name is Carol White. I hope I've given you something to think about and consider. Whatever choices you make, God bless you. I will keep you in my prayers. I love you guys to the moon and back. I will see you next week. Practice your social distancing. Wear your masks. And if you are a praying person, pray for everybody because we all need it. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.